Hi everyone, today we're going to do the Peter Pan collar. We'll start with the pattern and then we'll do the assembling. Okay, so to do the plan of any flat collar, you start by tracing the back, and then at the end of the shoulder, inside the armhole, you're going to measure 1.5 centimeter as a reference. Okay, so then you're going to connect the neck point with the 1.5 centimeter and take your front bodice, neck point on the neck point, and pivot your bodice until your front shoulder is touching the line. At this point, you could trace your front bodice just for a little while as a reference. So at this point, I want to show you why 1.5 centimeter is enough, because if you're trying to pivot more than that, it's going to create a point at the neck, and we don't want that. So 1.5 centimeter enough. Now we just have one step left to do, is to trace the collar parallel to the neckline. So for this one, I'll do a classic collar, about 7.5 centimeter. Okay, one important thing is to start with a 90 degree, and the rest could be a nice curve. So like I said at the beginning, this technique is for any flat collar, so it could be pointy or classic. So now we're going to do the two pattern piece. So I put 2 layers of paper under, and I'm going to staple and trace with the tracing wheel. So now, still with the 2 layers together, I'm going to put 1 centimeter seam allowance all around the pattern piece, except for the center back that is going to be on fold. Now we have one more line to trace. For the top collar, we're going to add 3 millimeter bigger all around the collar, not at the neck. So all around to nothing at the neck point. So before to separate the two collar, we're going to notch at the shoulder, both layers together. Then we're going to take one piece and we're going to remove the 3 millimeter that we just had. Okay, so now we have 2 different pieces, the small one and the big one. Big one is going to be the top collar, and it's on fold also. And we have the smaller one that is the under collar, also on fold. When the pieces are going to be cut in fabric, the only way we could see a difference between them is going to be to place different notches. So the top collar has a single notch on the fold line, top and bottom, while the under collar has a single at the bottom, but a double, so at 0.5 from the fold, on the under collar. So as you could see, my pieces are cut, and I already did a little fabric manipulation on my top collar. So what we're going to do is we're going to place them face to face, and we're going to sew the outside of the contour of the collar. So the collar is almost finished. We have one more seam to do, and before to do it, we're going to do triangle notch all around the collar, especially where you have the curve line. So now that the notching is done, we're going to go on the sewing machine, and we're going to do the understitch with the seam allowance on the under collar at 1 millimeter from the seam. So I hope you enjoyed. This collar was a special request from James, and make sure you subscribe to my channel so you could see my next video on a shirt collar.